Well, hey, everybody. This is Brady Henderson from the Swansea Tigers Sports Network. And for the first time in our history, and hopefully not the last, we are presenting to you the Tiger Den podcast. And this is a podcast to cover Swansea Tiger athletics for legal purposes. We are not affiliated with Swansea High School or Lexington District 4. And, of course, we have been with Coach Fox most of this season via video. But now we're introducing the Tiger Den, and I'll let all of our Tiger fans know that it won't just be football. We also plan on having some other coaches for other sports, but Coach Fox will primarily be our weekly guest, and this is in addition to our post-game interviews with him that you see on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. But you're listening on YouTube. Obviously, we don't have any video for you, but we do have audio, and I am sitting here today with the head coach of the Tigers, sitting at 7-0, Willie Fox. How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, Coach, really appreciate getting to know you over this season. This has been a great season to get to know you. Good vibes all around, 7-0. You're 1-0 in region, coming off a bye week, and I know you and I have texted and talked and everything, and I won't go through all that, but you did get a chance to look at Silver Bluff last week. You did get a chance to do that. Obviously, Keenan lost to Silver Bluff, 8-27 score there, and then Newberry, I believe, 41-14 over Fox Creek. Newberry took care of business on that. So that's kind of what happened in our region last week. Obviously, the Tigers were off. Coach, last year you had a remarkable season. I believe the year before, 0-10. You come into town 7-4, first round loss at Waccamaw, and now you've got the best record since 2012. But something that's really interesting: if we can beat Silver Bluff this coming Friday, we'll be 8-0 for the first time since 1992, and that is significant, Coach, for several reasons. One is 1992 was the first year that the Tigers started on a 3-run state championship victories, 3 in a row. In 91, they were runner-ups. But in 92, 93, and 94, under Coach Maddox, which I know you know that name. Of course, historically, this is a winning place. I've heard you say before, one reason you wanted this job is because we won before, which means you can do it again. 25 region titles. Everything for this team is on the table. So just before we get into the specifics of this game and this week, what do you think so far of what's happened with a 7-0 start? And I want to say this, Coach. Keenan's a much better football team than people understand. I understand they're 2-6, 2-7 now. We've seen them play. They're a good football team. Kind of shot themselves in the foot with Silver Bluff. The score definitely could have been closer there. But your thoughts on the Tigers so far, sitting at 7-0?
I think we can't be any better than 7-0 through 7 games. And no matter how many games you play, you want to win them all. And so far, we've been able to do that, and that speaks for itself. And but at the same time, we don't feel like that we have reached our potential yet. We haven't really played well all season. We've been able to win games, and a lot of times we're winning games playing ugly. Playing ugly and winning can be a morale booster for your team, but at the same time, at some point we've got to really put it together. If we want a chance to win these next 3 weeks. Like I've been telling you every week, our region's tough. Yeah. Every one of these teams is good. We saw that with Keenan. Like you said, I had a chance to go watch Keenan play Friday night against Silver Bluff. The score ended up being 27-8. Keenan moves the ball up and down the field all night long. They ended up, I think, with 4 turnovers. They had 3 turnovers in the first half.
Wow.
Put the ball all over the ground, threw it to Silver Bluff, usually down there going into the end zone.
Okay.
So,
in the red zone, yeah.
I mean, they're a good football team. They just haven't shown it all year. They're really young. So.
Well, did that athletic quarterback for them play?
Yeah, he did.
He did come back after injury? Okay.
Yes, sir.
He's quite the athlete.
He is.
Is he a sophomore or junior?
I'm not sure what year he is, but they've got a kid that just got eligible that's probably going to take his job. So
I read that, and he's going to get to play the last few region games this season?
Yeah, so. he should be good. He should be good to go this week and for the last few games.
So that'll be interesting to see if that'll turn the tide for Keenan. And so I think, and this is just my observation, I agree with you, Coach, and this is no offense to your football team. We have seemed to start it off slow most of our games this season. I remember specifically that happened at Barnwell, and no offense to Barnwell and Coach Smith, love all those people down there, as do you. That probably should have been a 50-10 game or somewhere around there if we would have started the way we wanted to. Obviously, still won, and I know that you preach this to the kids. We don't ever want them to get too used to winning to where we get too comfortable. So did the bye week come at a good time for your football team?
It did. It gave us a chance. We got a couple guys that are banged up a little bit, and it gave them a chance to come back. It gave us a chance to focus on us a little bit because I think that's where we need our focus to be. We're trying to beat everybody. We're trying to beat opponents, but at the same time, we need to clean up what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it did give us a chance to simplify a little bit and slow down a little bit and not put so much focus into another team, but focus on us.
Absolutely. And gave the guys Friday night off. Some of them went to the fair, saw on social media, and so saw some of that. And I do think it's interesting, though, and I've said this a lot. Tigers are led on offense by your sophomore quarterback, also a multi-sport athlete, Kendall Wright. You're scoring 37.6 points a game. There's no reason why that shouldn't be a little bit higher with some of the mistakes we've made. Heard earlier this week, Coach, before we talk defense, heard another sports network talking about college athletics, and they said the best college coaches are always dominant on one side of the football. And whether that be Steve Spurrier on offense or Brent Venables with defense. And it seems like from the outside looking in, Coach, you're the offensive coordinator. You're the one calling those plays. You're doing that. The way that you lead our offense and call plays on offense, you could definitely tell that your hand's on it, and I'm sure that's by design.
Well, I'm the offensive guy here, but I actually started on defense.
Really?
And
okay.
I think, and I'll be honest with you, I think everybody, before you're a head coach, you should work on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
Because I think it makes you a better offensive coach to work defensively, and I think it makes you a better defensive coach to work on the offensive side of the ball. But, yeah, I do call the plays here. I run our offense. Coach Coleman runs our defense.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I do offensively, I don't think enough coaches understand complementary football. Everything affects everything else. The kicking game affects defense, and defense affects offense. And working at the 1A level, like I did for so long, where everybody's playing everything, you really have to understand that. So our offense has to complement our defense, and our defense has to complement our offense. So that definitely factors into my decision making.
Well, let me take a detour there. Before we get too deep into Silver Bluff and to our offensive defense, being a 1A coach, and also our listeners might not know that at Wagner, Sally, you're also the AD, which we can ask Coach Deaver how difficult that can be.
Yes, sir.
So how has the transition been? I know you're in your second season now. Your wife's a librarian. You guys seem super happy with where the Lord has you here. But what's the difference in being a 1A football coach in AD to a 3A football coach with a 14-4 overall record?
Well, we had a lot of success at Wagner too.
Yeah,
we were kind of in the when I took over at Wagner, we were kind of in the same boat that we were here. Wagner was coming off a 1-9 year when I got there, and they had won that first game of the year and then lost 9 in a row. And the only reason they won that game was because the quarterback for Bethune-Bowman was crossing the goal line and dropped the ball.
Okay.
And Wagner ended up winning the game off that play and then lost 9 in a row. So, in a football standpoint, it's very much the same situation where, we get a chance to rebuild a program. So I feel like, that's one of the things that I was excited about, getting the opportunity to build something again.
Absolutely.
Now, my favorite part of it is I don't have to be the AD anymore. That kind of came along with the job at Wagner, and I kind of got thrown into it, and I basically just learned how to be an AD for the first couple years. And it had its perks, obviously, but I don't miss being an athletic director. I talk to Coach Deaver all the time, and he does an outstanding job leading our athletic program. He's one of the best I've been around, and sometimes he comes to me and because I was an AD for 9 years, and he'll bounce an idea off of me or ask my opinion. And I tell him all the time, hey, I'm here for you, but I don't want anything to do with
I don't want your job.
I do not want your job. You definitely don't have to worry about me knocking down your door for that job. So
I hear you. We'll talk a little bit more about the Keenan game. Obviously, that was 2 weeks ago, and then getting into practice this week. Kendall Wright on October the 3rd, first region game, first one on the road. Can't say nothing about Kendall Wright, and I'll say this too. You know, you and I talked before the season. We talked about running the football. I know you're an old school football coach, but man, we've got to talk about the passing game and how I really believe the passing game is opening those running lanes for your running backs. You have some really good running backs, but against Keenan, 9 for 11, 103 yards. The big thing about Kendall is he's dual threat. And, of course, he had 64 yards on the ground, but the big one was that 43-yard run. Ended up fumbling later on that drive, but still, he ran the ball well. And so the offense is doing well with that. Obviously, early in the season, DeAndre was running hard, getting a lot of carries. Recently, Dante has done that, but I assume this week, Coach, we're going to see both the Caldwell running backs, correct?
we will. I'm going to go back to Kendall for a second. Kendall's playing really well. He's sophomore, first-year starter on varsity. Had a really good JV season last year, as you guys know, and he's having a heck of a year. He plays his best game every week, and that's what we need him to continue to do. And the best part about Kendall is he is a sophomore.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have him for another 2 years, so we're excited about that. And just watching him grow and watching him mature. He's such a good kid. He's such a mature kid. He's growing up every day, so he's a fun kid to coach. And then Dante and DeAndre are both having good years. You know, it's we bounce them back and forth. Just happens past couple of weeks that Dante's kind of been the hot hand. So, we definitely we've got a plan for both of them this upcoming week, and we expect both of them to have big games.
Yeah, and I would say, too, one thing that you have an advantage with is they're both different style runners. They're not the same kind of running back. DeAndre, love to see him run when he gets going, and when DeAndre gets in that groove, you can't stop him. He's low to the ground. And he's very fast. And Dante, he's just going to run right through you.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's awesome to get to see him as a senior and how he's progressed. And only thing about Kendall is we got to get the young man to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, more than 2 words. But anyway, also your receivers, one thing you got to love about Coach Fox's offense here at Swansea is everybody gets involved. There's a lot of different hands touching the football, which makes our job as sports journalists a little bit harder because we're trying to keep up with all these touches and all these stats and stuff. But Trey Selfridge Jr., can't say enough about him. Very fast. You got another year with him. A lot of pop passes we've seen, a lot of handoffs. Therese James has really come along, as well as Zyshawn Jameson. But a little bit on offense. We talked about that. I will say I was surprised at Keenan. We needed a little bit of spark on offense, and then here comes William Geddes. And no offense to William. I love him. He's a great kid. I love talking to him. Definitely doesn't look like a offensive player as he's running a crossing route over to their sidelines. And Kendall Wright throws the ball, and I'm at the top of the away stands over there at Keenan. And I looked at my wife and said, this isn't good because William just doesn't look like he's ready to catch that football. All of a sudden, ball falls in his hands. I think it was 25-yard catch, Coach. It's just awesome to be able to have kids you can throw in there and athletes. He is a defensive nightmare.
Right.
But then to see him do that, I was like, wow, that was interesting. So anyway, really excited about your offense. And I think, as you've already said, we've left a lot of points on the table so far. And I'm looking forward to seeing how we can take advantage of that starting this week. Let's turn the page a little bit with Brad Coleman's defense. I've heard you say before that you definitely wanted him as your defensive coordinator. When you came here, you got him. You can't overlook this stat. The offense, everything looks good. We know it can be better. Only 10.6 points allowed a game, and if you take that Pillion game out, it's under 7. Brad Coleman's defense has been scary good this year.
Yes, sir.
Of course, William Geddes, Jarrell Wine, Jeremiah Waymyers. We've got some incredible defensive players. Secondary has been a little iffy at times. I know we want to get better at that, but as far as the box goes and the defensive front with your linebackers coach, super scary back there with those guys.
Yes, sir. Most of our secondary is young. Almost all of, not all of them, but almost every one of them is a first-year starter.
Yeah.
And you can see that at times. We bite on things we shouldn't bite on, and we just make mistakes. But they've gotten better throughout the year.
They have
done a much better job as the year's gone on. But yeah, we thought coming into this year that we were really, really good in the box. we were good up front defensive line wise. We've got a good bit of depth up there, which is always a good thing.
You do, yeah.
And then we've got 3 senior linebackers that do a really good job, and they've been playing defense for a long time, and you don't have to. They know what's coming most of the time before the ball snapped. So, having some seniors there can kind of help take some of that pressure off that secondary. So they've had so far this year they've been really good, and the only time we've been in trouble is when we've gotten out of position or we've bid on something, like I said, we shouldn't have bid on. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I'm just thinking of P.J. Larry, William Geddes, and Jarrell Wine. Those are the 3 that come to mind. Jeremiah Waymyers is definitely coming on as well.
Yep.
Seitler's a great one too. Kevin playing both sides of the ball. One defensive, not to just hate on the DBs, but Dante Caldwell's played good. DeAndre's grown up a lot at that safety spot, and also Gavin Mack. A little bit on the outside has really grown, and he's playing both sides as well. One player we did want to ask you about, Coach. We saw him a lot at Barnwell, played a great game. Landon Cunningham. Didn't see him as much against Keenan. Was he banged up, hurt?
No, he's just kind of a game plan thing. Sometimes we got a good many DBs, and sometimes somebody's skill set just fits more with a certain team. And it's just sometimes Landon's skill set fits a little bit more, and sometimes DeAndre's skill set fits a little more, and it's just the nature of football.
Absolutely. So that's a little bit about the Tigers so far this year. Like I said, I'm super excited for this coming Friday. By the way, fans, hope you'll join us. It's coming Friday night at Doug Bennett Stadium at 7:30. We really need you here around 6:45, 7, and we need you loud from the beginning to the end. Coach, of course, this season we're doing PA in the booth and music and lights. We plan on being really loud when we're on defense and a little bit softer when we're on offense to make it easier for you guys. But let's talk a little bit about Silver Bluff. And before we do that, I want to let you know that the Tiger Den podcast is brought to you by Blazon in Gaston. That's who is sponsoring today's episode, as well as the First Baptist Church of Gaston. But let's talk about Silver Bluff. It's so interesting, and I'm looking here as we're in the field house, and it says payback time on one of the pieces of paper. And I've gotten that written in my game notes, which you can pick up as you enter Doug Bennett tomorrow. Last year, the Silver Bluff Bulldogs came into Doug Bennett Stadium 0-7.
Well, we went there.
Went there. Sorry, that's right.
Yes,
that tough environment. Thank you. 0-7. And you guys ended up losing, I believe, 56 to 23 or something like that. You can correct me on that. So that's kind of what happened there last year. I know that Silver Bluff is a tough environment. That's why we want to make it tough this year. They were a good 0-7 football team last year. Just talk a little bit about how things ended up last year with them.
Well, we tried to tell our kids all year long. We had a bye week going into it. We were 6-1, and we hadn't had any success. Swansea hadn't had some success for a while. And when you haven't had success in a while, and then all of a sudden you do, it kind of leads to this mindset of invincibility. So especially when you're playing a team that's 0-7. But with the schedule that Silver Bluff plays early on in the season, it made sense why they were 0-7. I mean, they played some juggernauts.
Gotcha.
So we tried to tell our kids all those 2 weeks, hey, I told them straight up, this is the best 0-7 football team I've ever seen. We had that talk the other day, too. Their record is not who they are. They are a very good football team.
A good 4-4 football team.
They are this year. They may be the best 4-4 football team I've ever seen. The teams that they have lost to, I mean, most teams are going to lose to.
Yep.
But we went into that game, and I think we went into it with a big head, despite our best efforts to try to avoid that. And then we did not play well. We did not play well at all. We put the ball all over the ground, and I remember we fielded the kickoff down inside the 2-yard line and ended up fumbling that, and we just did not play well. We didn't tackle well in space. We turned the ball over. We didn't execute, and then the result was what it was. So it's hard to believe that our kids would go into this game with that mindset again. You know? So they a lot of these guys were there last year.
Payback time.
Yes, sir.
I love it. Revenge tour, right?
Yes,
most recent matchup between you guys I've got in front of me now. The Bulldogs beat you guys last year, got their first victory region victory of the season, pulled off what I would have called an upset, 56-26 last year against you guys, traveled to Aiken. They're obviously coming to Doug Bennett this year. Talk a little bit about, just similar to you, Matt Hayes is in his second season at Silver Bluff. He is 1-1 in the region so far. Didn't get to see the game, but we got the score, and I told the fans here what the score was, and we were watching it closely. Silver Bluff almost beat Newberry. Don't know if you got to watch the film on that one,
Right.
and what kind of football game that was.
It was a good football game. Newberry's quarterback didn't play the first half, so that hurt them. Their quarterback is special,
Gotcha.
and Newberry also turned the ball over 5 times.
Gotcha.
So that helped Silver Bluff, but Silver Bluff should have won that game. They had the ball late in the fourth quarter, driving inside the 5-yard line, and they got in like a little wildcat set, and the tailback didn't catch the snap. And it hits him in the face mask, bounces up in the air, and Newberry recovers it.
Wow.
And runs the clock out and wins the game.
Jeez.
So, now Newberry did help them a lot, but again, it does, as good as Newberry is, as they've shown all season long, for Silver Bluff to be in that game, to have a chance to win that game, it kind of speaks to how good they are.
Absolutely.
Coach Hayes, this is his second year there. He's a Silver Bluff guy. He graduated from Silver Bluff. I've known him a long time. Silver Bluff's been Matt Hayes has been coaching football for a long time. He's been at South Aiken. He's been at Silver Bluff. He's been at Strom Thurmond. He's been a kind of a career assistant. But this is his first head coaching job at his alma mater. He does a great job. He's a really good defensive coach. And he's got a good staff around him, and obviously he's doing a good job.
Yeah, he is.
He took over Coach Bryant, D'Angelo Bryant. Both of these guys are good friends of mine, and Coach D'Angelo Bryant is now at Gray.
Oh,
and so Coach Hayes took over after Coach Bryant left.
Okay.
So.
Well, interesting. Yeah, I mean, Coach Hayes was a part of the coaching staff in 2001 when they won their most recent state championship. His record so far over there is 6-9 overall, but as you've said, that's a good 6-9.
That's right.
So far this season, they've scored a total of 219 points, which means they're averaging 27.4 points a game. Tell me about the offense. What kind of offense do they run, and what can we be looking for?
They are all over the place on offense. They're mostly a spread team, but they'll get down in tight end and H-back sets.
Okay.
Sometimes 2 backs, 3 receivers, and then they jump in 4 and 5 wide sets. So they're all over the place. Quarterback's really good, a really good little athletic quarterback. He's not very big, but he does an outstanding job of extending plays.
Okay, wow.
Really good job of scrambling around, and when you think you got him, all of a sudden he squirts out of there and finds a guy 40 yards down the field. He's got a really good arm.
So he's got a good arm
Yep.
and mobility.
Yep.
Is he a senior or junior?
He is a senior,
Gotcha.
And then their best little running back's a lot like him. He's, again, not very big, but really good in space. Offensive line, they're really big up front. Their right guard's about 6'4" and a little over 300 pounds. So I mean, they're a really good football team. But I think we are too.
Absolutely. So defense is going to be key this week. So
Yes,
for
sir.
our linebackers listening, I know several of our linebackers follow us on social media. Jarrell and William and PJ, you need to be listening up for this little quarterback. Of course, I know they have on film all week. The defense, they've given up 25.1 points a game. Obviously, with some of their competition, that's why that would be. Notable loss, they lost to Newberry 22-19. They did lead most of that game. We know why. We just heard from Coach. Big wins for them. Obviously, that South Aiken win, 34-31, is their big notable win so far this season. What do they do on defense that presents a little bit of a challenge?
Defense, they look like the classic Silver Bluff defenses. Everybody looks about the same size, and everybody's fast. They usually 3 hands in the dirt, and they just come downhill and find the football. And that was kind of the old classic Silver Bluff, defense. I remember when I was an assistant at Pillion, we usually were in the region with Silver. Well, there was a time we were in the region with Silver Bluff. And they would always get in that old 33 stack, and there was 8 guys. There was 22 eyes looking at you, and everybody looked the same, and everybody ran about 4 or 5, and they were all coming downhill. And Coach Hayes was there at that time period, and he is getting them back to that point. They're a fast defense. They're pretty physical. They do a really good job of defending the run.
Gotcha.
So they're again just
that's something we do well. So
yes.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, let me, and obviously I don't want you to say too much. This isn't going to air until Thursday, so there's not a ton of time for the opposing team to be able to find this or whatever. But I do want to ask you, what does their special teams look like? That's something we've really exploited this year as far as Dante Caldwell goes. And no knock against any of the teams that we play, have played thus far, but a lot of them seem like special teams is an afterthought. And we have really exploited that. You can do that when you have athletes like Dante Caldwell and Therese James and some others who have either, obviously Dante has scored a few returns, but if he's not scoring, he's getting you in good field position for your offense. So what does their special teams present?
Their kickoff team, they like to kind of sky kick it on the sideline. I think we've got a pretty good plan for that. So they do a good job of that. Kickoff return, they've got some really good athletes deep that can take the ball to the house. So we've got to keep that in mind. They try to set up a punt return, which we haven't seen much of this year. A lot of people have come after punts.
Yeah.
They try to return them, so you don't see that a whole lot at the high school level. A lot of teams sometimes defensively, teams don't have any plan for a punt. They just kind of stand around and they're glad they're getting the ball back. So our special teams coordinator is Coach Jason Bush.
Yeah.
And Coach Bush does an outstanding job of getting our guys ready. We spend a good bit of time all week preparing our kids for what we're trying to do because we want to use that as a weapon.
Absolutely.
We don't want it to be an afterthought. There's 3 phases of the game. We want to be good at all of them.
All 3. Well, speaking of that, let's go ahead and talk about the Tigers and your game plan. We've talked enough about Silver Bluff. We can only control what we can control as Swansea Tigers. Let's talk about the special teams. I'm a special teams guy. My uncle played special teams at the college level. My brother is a high school kicker at Greer right now. So we're special teams folks, so you'll just have to bear with me there. Kendall Wright. I know we talk about him, baseball, football, all this stuff. The man can punt.
Yes, he can.
I did the stats, and you correct me if I'm wrong. He's averaging 39.4 yards a punt.
Like that.
I think the longest one I've seen him punt is about 52. Now, he did get a good roll, but the man can punt. And he's been quite the nice little weapon punting for us this year. Talk to me about your plans about kicker. I know last game we pulled up a soccer kid at Keenan, number 20. I think his name is Jacob. Jaden. Okay, Jaden.
Yes,
so talk to me about Jaden. Is he going to do kickoffs? Is he going to do PATs? Are we going to do more of 2-point conversions? How's that going to look? And then obviously give a big round of applause to Dante Caldwell for trying to man that as well as he could. He's an athlete for us. But what about Jaden, number 20?
We've been working with Jaden, kicking off a little bit. So I think we've got a plan where we've got Dante ready to kick off and we've got Jaden ready to kick off. So both of them have their strengths, and Jaden's probably a little bit better at directional kicking, and Dante just kind of toes it.
Yeah.
And you don't really know. He don't know where it's going, and we don't know where it's going. Sometimes he kicks it down inside the 5, and sometimes he kicks it out of bounds.
Yeah.
But when he gets a good one, he does a good job.
Yeah.
And half the time it's after he ran an 80-yard touchdown. So we're like, hey man, you got to get out there and kick. And his tongue's hanging out. Kendall's doing an outstanding job punting the ball for us. And he really don't know what he's doing. He's just catching and kicking. I think Brad asked him yesterday. He was catching the ball. He said, "Are you a 1-step punter or a 2-step punter?" Kendall's like, "I don't know what I am. I'm just a punter."
Yeah, I'm just punting.
So he's doing it. But Coach Dickey, works with our soccer program. He also helps us out in football. He does a good. He does it. Kendall doesn't get enough time to punt during the week because he's got other duties. But
obviously, yeah.
But he's Coach Dickey works with him. At least once a week, just trying to get his form as good as we can get it. And he does a good job. Kendall's doing a good job punting for us.
Well, we were talking with Coach Mack at we called the middle school game last week, and Coach Mack was up there, and you were up there with us too, not by your own choice. But
That's right.
Anyway, Coach Mack was up there, and he was talking to us about Kendall's hand placement, how his hand placement when he punts is different. That kind of helps him a little bit. So anyway, so I'm assuming the kicking situation with kickoffs and PATs and 2 points, it's going to be a game-based decision.
Yeah, it'll be based. We'll make those decisions as they come.
Yeah.
We've got Jaden ready to kick off. We got him ready to kick off. He's doing a good job kicking extra points. We've always got a good little 2-point package that we go into a game with. So
good deal.
We're just going to be ready to do anything.
So as far as defense go, let's talk a little bit about the defensive game plan. What's your game plan for this week? You mentioned the spread. You mentioned they do a lot of things. We've got an athletic quarterback. What have you done so far this week to prepare for that?
Well, we've talked a lot, and we're working on trying to keep that quarterback in the pocket. We don't want him out. We don't want him on the edges because that's where he can create things. We want to make this quarterback work from the pocket. I think that's a big deal, and that's something we're trying to do. And at the same time, you can't let him sit back there all day and not have pressure on him. You don't want him to have a clean pocket. So we want to keep him in the pocket, but we want that pocket to be rushed.
Yep.
So that's kind of our mindset, and this team does a good job. Not only the quarterback, but they do a good job of getting on the edges and causing you an issue. So we want to keep this. We want to keep their offense bottled up. We do not want them on our edges. We don't want them. We want to contain them.
Gotcha.
We want to force them to run right at what we feel like is the strength of our defense, which is our D line.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
We want to force them to run it between the tackles.
Good deal. Good deal. So let's talk offense. Kendall Wright, sophomore led. Of course, your running backs. What's the plan on offense?
Offensively, we tried to use the bye week to focus on us a little bit, and I think we've got a good balanced game plan going into this game. I feel like we got a good, effective passing game going into it.
Good.
And at the same time, like you talked about a little while ago, using the pass to set up the run. I've always kind of thought the other way, where you use the run to set up the pass. But this team's a little different. So I think we've got a good, balanced game plan. I think we've got several good packages to go into the game with. That's always kind of been my mindset is, you can't go into the game with one plan. You got to go in with several things that you feel like you can use to attack their defense. And getting 2 weeks to look at them, we feel like we've got a really good game plan going in. We've got several packages that we can hit them with.
Well, and kind of mention with the packages, let's say the run's not going well, they're a run-stopping team. Mm-hmm. Let's say the pass is going well, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. Mid-game adjustments. Right. Obviously, you're the offensive coordinator. I'm assuming those will be made with some of those packages.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We've got. You try to build. My mindset offensively is always try to have a base play and try to build off of it.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to have answers. I think that's kind of the mindset offensively is if they're taking this away, what are they doing to take this away? And then you figure out how to attack that adjustment. So
absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Swansea Tigers beat Silver Bluff Friday
if we take care of the football, if we do not let them get on the edges defensively, and if we do not beat ourselves.
All right. Had a good many penalties, I think 8, I might be wrong, against Pillion, a good many penalties. We got to cut down on that.
Yes, sir.
We're going to try to create a loud, ruckus environment. I am going ahead and tell you, I think the fans are going to be here in full force. Even with the rain game, they were here. And then earlier this year against Pillion, one of the best crowds this place has seen in years. Mm-hmm. And I expect the same Friday night. Silver Bluff Bulldogs coming in 4-4. Coach, the Bulldogs and Tigers have played 9 times since 2010. Silver Bluff has the upper hand with 5-4 overall record over us. We have the opportunity to tie that. When playing Silver Bluff, the Tigers have averaged 22.2 points and have allowed 29.6 have allowed since 2010 against these guys. So we have a great opportunity to be able to change some of that and to be able to, of course, focus on ourselves. So, Coach, thank you so much for your time. We will see you either before or after, hopefully after the game, after a Swansea Tiger win. Have the opportunity to go 8-0 for the first time since 1992. This would really set us up. Obviously, we're not overlooking Fox Creek. We know that's a big one as well, but we also have Newberry in our hindsight. Last thing I'll ask you, Coach, I'll get you out of here because most folks might not know you're also a fantastic history teacher. I'm a history buff, so we will not go into that conversation because we'll take up too much of our time with fun there. But I know you got a young football team, but I do want to ask you this. Any guys that colleges are looking at, I'm sure college coaches have come in here. This is a hot spot as far as Lexington County goes. Any guys that are being looked at that you're allowed to talk about?
Well, right now colleges aren't coming through.
True.
Most of the colleges will start coming through after football season. But we've got several seniors that have a good chance to play somewhere. William Geddes has got a good chance. Dante Caldwell's got a good chance. Jarrell Wine's got a good chance. So we've got several of those guys, and then we've got a lot of our younger guys that are going to, they're already on some people's radars.
Good. Good deal, Coach. Well, hey, this has been the Tiger Den podcast. I'm Brady Henderson, voice of the Swansea Tigers Sports Network. Fans, we need you here. We need you here early. You can buy tickets at gofan.com or you can pay in cash. Also, the concession stand is wonderful. Shout out to the chicken tenders. Those are good. You can pick up the game notes that we've kind of gone over today at the booster booth or at the concession stand. Coach Fox, thanks for your time. Appreciate you, not just as a coach, but also as a friend.
Yes, sir. I appreciate what you guys do, man. Thank y'all.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Friday.